There is an incredible temptation, particularly if you have been involved in the project for a long time, to get angry. And you gotta suck it up, guys. Don't let them see you get pissed off. Please, don't take the bait. Just because Kevin is angry talking to me doesn't mean I have to get angry with him. Kevin, I understand you're feeling angry right now. Well, my insurance company denied my claim. That must be very difficult for you and really frustrating. You probably paid premiums for a long time. So I'm labeling the situation for him and trying to show some acknowledgement of what he's going through. All right? You see, I got a kind of whole kumbaya theme going here, Lisa, right? Yeah, she's ready to sing along. So there has to be some benefit. And Phil, the negotiation experts say there's got to be some win on both sides. So when you're talking to somebody and you want to get them to agree to a position or a proposal that you have to demonstrate something that's a benefit to them. It has to put them into a better situation than they're in now to agree to your proposal. There has to be an upside. If it's just a demand and you're just taking from them, they're going to say, no, forget it. I'm not giving you that. All right? Demonstrate the benefit. And if there's some benefit going both ways, Phil, they will call this a win-win kind of situation. There's going to be some sacrifice. It's not a complete victory. It's not a home run. It may not be the Super Bowl. But there's some benefit on both sides. You've got to show them how they're going to enjoy some benefit. In other words, before you talk to somebody, have a speech prepared to explain what's in it for them to agree to what you're asking.
Active listening is making a conscious decision and effort to not only hear the words the other person is saying, but also understand the message and the feeling behind the words. Active listening makes conversations more productive, makes the person you're speaking with feel heard, and helps establish trust, credibility, and common ground, which is an important goal in every communication. All of these techniques, eye contact, receptive body language, no interruptions, being relaxed and breathing, shows that you're focused on the conversation and that you really want to be listening to what this person is saying to you. Active listening also involves withholding judgment. Avoid sighing, facial expressions that communicate that you are judging them. Don't jump to conclusions. That can happen later. And sometimes snap judgments in conversations can cause personality conflicts or even worse, legal disputes. Active listening also involves processing the words you are hearing. When you listen to someone speak to you, listen with the sole purpose of listening. Try not to listen with the purpose of responding or preparing your rebuttal.
Let's talk about empathy. We cannot succeed in our communications or our transactions if we haven't built trust. And if the person you're communicating with doesn't trust you, and you haven't built any empathy, you're going to get off on the wrong foot and greatly increase the chances of conflict. So what do? We recognize the person's emotions. Did Connie, the contractor, do a good job of recognizing and acknowledging Homer's emotions? No, she was cold as ice. This was the first mistake that she made. It's a demonstration. We want to accept people's interpretation. All right? Impressions are reality. You could be dealing with a customer who has a wildly different impression from you as to how the project went. But we need to tread lightly if we try to change somebody's reality. That can be very difficult to do. So sometimes we're better off to accept their interpretation or to agree to disagree about something. It's very good to restate the problem. So Homer's freaking out looking for his boa constrictor. This was his center of attention, but Connie didn't give that any time at all. Maybe she could have offered a piece of advice or offered to help on some level. But she didn't. She didn't do that. And so by the time the invoice came, he was already kind of on edge, a little bit pissed off, and that bill was just enough to send him over the edge. If you show up and your customer has said they've already retained a lawyer, this is a red flag, right? Let me tell you something. In the hundreds of lawsuits that I've been involved with, by the time we get to the end, years later, so many of you have come back to me and told me, you know what, I had a bad feeling about this job from the beginning. I should not have taken this job. Don't yield to the temptation to take every single job. The best job is the one that you reject and you let go to your competitor if they're going to be a problem customer. Okay, we're starting to get warmed up here.